In this video, I'd like to quickly talk about some of the CSS dev tools that are built into Chrome that are very useful. So we've already seen that we can right-click on an element and go to Inspect, and we've got our HTML element nav or element inspector up top. I can navigate through them, I can open, expand things, but I also get this CSS down here. So if I'm not sure why something is applying or not applying, I can select that element. So how about this right here? I've got these two, or these H2s, I select one, and then I can see the styles here. And I can see that they are set to olive drab, but why is this blue color here and it's being crossed off? Well, that's showing me that yes, this could be applying, or it could apply, but it is not winning in the specificity battle. So for whatever reason, maybe it's order, maybe it's less specific, this style is not being added, it's not being applied to this H2. And if we look, right, this is something we did earlier. I set them to be olive drab in my second style sheet, and I set them to be blue, wherever that is, in my first style sheet. And if we look at the order, first one and then second one. So they're going to be blue first, and then they're overwritten to be green. And if I wanted to see what they looked like, I could uncheck that, and you'll see they go back to blue, but that's not changing anything outside of this one window. My style sheet is unchanged. If I refresh the page, I lose that, but it does let me play around. So I also can do things like tweak the color here. I could put my own color in here. I also get a color picker. If I click on it, I now can look at different colors. I can play around with colors and see the hex code there. Once again, it's not updating my HTML, but it is very useful. And I can also add things in here, like maybe I want them to be larger. Font size, 30 pixels. I can do that inline in the browser just to play around and see what things look like, toggle them on and off. You'll also see down below some of the default styles that we get from Chrome. So for example, every H2 has font weight of bold, but I could change that and say font weight normal. And there we go. It's no longer bolded. I refresh, everything goes back to normal. So those dev tools can be very useful, especially when something is not applying the way you expect. Here we can see, I've got this button. All buttons have a background color of this light blue color that you can see right there, if I don't hover, that light blue. But this one has an ID, and so its background color is this dark blue. But if that ID selector were not there, it would be light blue. You can see that specificity battle happening right there. This is more specific than this. So this is crossed off. That's Chrome's way of telling us this does not apply because of specificity or order or some other reason. So that's all I want to mention with the Chrome DevTools. Super useful. There's more to CSS. I mean, if you have a ton of styles, there's a lot that you can do in here. You can search and filter. Also, if you're trying to figure out what's going on with hover state, right? So why is this turning red and this is green and this is, let's say, why is this not turning green? Let's start with that. If you toggle this, force element state to be hover, and I'm going to do it not just on that button, but let's do it on this button here. So I select that button. Once again, click, select, force to be hover, and then we look at the styles. You can see our selectors now, button hover, it does have that red background. This green is not being applied because it's less specific than this one here that also has a class selector. So these dev tools are super useful. Make sure you get comfortable using them. Just practice, play around with them, and you'll honestly find a lot of situations where you have no choice but to use them anyway, or else you go crazy. So highly recommended, Chrome DevTools, CSS. Bye.